In this video, I'm going to be vibe coding with the newly released KIMI K3, which released earlier today from Moonshot AI. And I have to say, this is the first open source model that I have been absolutely blown away by. This is no longer the KIMI series that we've seen in the past that was a cheap, affordable model that you used if you didn't have a big budget. This is now a frontier lab, a frontier model that you can use if you are a serious vibe coder. And I'm going to be breaking that down in this video. But the first thing that stood out to me when I initially started using KIMI K3 was the price. If you look at the price, it's priced at $3 and $15 per million tokens, and it has a context window of 1 million tokens. Now, this is completely different from any other version of KIMI that we've seen. If you take a look at KIMI K2.7, it was priced at 72 cents and $3.50, and the context window was only 262,000 tokens. And if you go back two versions to KIMI K2.5, you're going to see that it was priced at 37 cents and $2 per million tokens, okay? So this used to be a cheap, affordable model that budget vibe coders would use, and the outputs were not that great. But after today, this is totally different now, okay? This is a 2.8 trillion parameter open weight multimodal model from Moonshot, and the results have been insane. The first thing that I want to show you guys is the output of the Bridge Horror House game, which completely blew me away. But before we get started, I do have a like goal of 400 likes on this video. So if you haven't already liked the video, make sure you do so. And if you haven't already joined the BridgeMind vibe coding community, make sure you do so. BridgeMind is the home of the vibe coding movement. There's going to be a link in the pinned comment down below. But with that being said, let's dive right into KIMI K3. All right, guys, KIMI K3 has finally dropped, and we have our first results of the BridgeMind Horror House game. Look at the graphics. This is probably the best graphics from this game that I have ever seen. This is better than Fable 5, and this is better than GPT 5.6 Soul. Look at how good this Horror House game is. If you guys remember, when we built it with Grok 4.5, it did not one-shot it, okay? This is a complete one-shot. There are no bugs. Here's the second key. The goal of this game is that we have to find 3 keys and escape the house and make sure that we don't run into any monsters. But look at this, guys. The graphics on the game are probably the best that I have seen from any AI model. That means better than Fable 5. That means better than GPT 5.6. We just have to find this final key, and here it is right here. Okay, let's grab this key, and let's see what happens. Okay, the screen just went dark, and now we have to run. Let's see. We have to keep our eye out for the ghost, but let's try to get to the front door. Oh, okay. All right, guys. It found us. It found us, but so far what we're seeing, the graphics and the UI design capabilities and the one-shot capabilities of this model are absolutely incredible. Okay, so you saw it in that clip, but one of the first things that really stood out to me about KIMI K3 was its design capabilities. And now, after some time has passed, we actually have the results from LM Arena. This is the web dev arena. So this is basically a design arena. And look at this. You're seeing KIMI K3 be way ahead of any other model. It's completely gapping Fable 5. Look at this. There's a difference of, what is that, 48 in score between Fable 5 and KIMI K3. So this isn't just like slightly beating Fable 5. This is actually a leap beyond Fable 5 for UI design that has truly impressed me. And that was the first thing I noticed about this model, is that it is a UI design beast. This was another UI design result that somebody shared inside the BridgeMind community that really stood out to me. So this is like a tree design, and there's just something different about this model. The way that it designs is truly impressive, and with previous KIMI models, you couldn't even get close to this. It has the ability to change some settings over there on the left, but this is a really creative design, and the fact that it just coded this in one shot for a KIMI model is truly impressive. This is better than Fable 5. Another benchmark that really stood out to me was the Artificial Analysis Intelligence Index, and look at KIMI K3 on this benchmark, guys. It ranks number 3. It's ahead of Claude Opus 4.8. It's ahead of GPT 5.5. It's ahead of Grok 4.5 and Sonnet 5, and it's way ahead of GLM 5.2. So GLM 5.2 really was the previous open source model that was the best, but now with KIMI K3, this blows that away. Like KIMI K3, it's not just, oh, this is pretty good. No, this is actually a frontier model now. But I do want to show you guys one thing that definitely sticks out that's a negative about the model. So let's go over to OpenRouter and I want to show this to you guys. Moonshot AI just does not have the compute to be able to serve the model. So if you scroll down here, you're going to see that they're currently serving the model at 26 tokens per second. So that is fairly slow in today's world. If you look at Fable 5, let's see what Fable 5 is currently running at. It's currently running at 41 tokens per second. So, that's a pretty substantial difference, right? That's literally 50% faster. So, that's very slow for KIMI K3. But if you look at GPT 5.6 Sol, GPT 5.6 Sol is literally the same speed. So I'm personally not a GPT 5.6 fan. It hallucinates all over the place. I didn't even make a review video on it, which maybe I will. But look at this. GPT 5.6 Sol is running at 26 tokens per second, and that's OpenAI, right? So I guess you could give them some leeway there. But one huge thing that also stood out to me is the hallucination rate. Check this out. If we go down to the hallucination rate on artificial analysis, look at this, guys. If you look at GPT 5.6 Sol, okay, GPT 5.6 Sol is right here with a hallucination rate of 88.83, okay? This is one of the best models in the world. Now, GPT models have problems with the hallucination rate, and sometimes they'll delete your entire computer or delete your database or potentially wipe all of your Stripe subscriptions. But put that aside, if you look at KIMI K3, it's probably not going to do that. It literally has a hallucination rate of 50.94%, which is neck and neck, really. It actually beats Fable 5 by about 4%, but it is a very good hallucination rate. That is strong. It's right there with Grok 4.5 as well. What's nice about KIMI K3 is it has a ton of parameters, and they've been able to scale the model up and make it super intelligent, but it's not going to hallucinate all over the place like GPT models do. So in my opinion, I think that you could say that KIMI K3 could actually be better than GPT 5.6 Sol in a lot of areas because you can trust the model way more than you could GPT 5.6 Sol. All right, so what I want to do now is I actually want to use KIMI K3 inside of KIMI Code, and we're going to test full stack development. We're not just going to test front-end design with single HTML file tests or just back-end development or database. We're literally going to give KIMI K3 full stack tasks to build apps for us and see what it's able to do. So you guys can hear my prompt here, but I'm just going to give it a prompt with Bridge Voice. Let's go. I want you to create an app called Bridge Goals that is a React Native app that uses Native Wind and uses Expo that will work on both iOS and Android devices. In this directory, I need you to create the React Native app as well as a NestJS API with TypeORM and a migration system that uses Postgres for the database. I need you to note that you need to build this end-to-end with no mistakes, and there should be minimal amounts of API keys. And the sole goal of Bridge Goals is to create an app that users are able to use to talk to an AI assistant that we will use GPT Real-Time 2.1 Mini so that users are able to talk to an AI agent to help them with their goals. This agent needs to be able to take what the user is telling them about what they want to accomplish in life and be able to create goals for the user. So we need to create this assistant to have tool calls that will be able to create goals for the user in the database. I need you to think through this, but build me an MVP and make it as simple as possible and write clear and concise, scalable code. All right, so I'm going to submit that prompt, and that is just like an overview, but we'll see what it's able to create. We had UI design with the React Native app. We have API development with the NestJS API, and then we're also using TypeORM as ORM, and we're using Postgres for the database. So with that said, we'll let this run. Now, the one thing that, again, I don't like about KIMI K3 is that this is going to be running for a while. It runs at 26 tokens per second, but from what I've seen, it reasons for a very long time. So I'm not sure when exactly this is going to finish, but I know for certain that it's going to take a bit of time. All right, guys, so KIMI K3 did finish the app, and here is what we're looking at. This is Bridge Goals, your voice-powered goals assistant. And the first thing that I do notice is that, first of all, it was able to actually create this app in one shot. Okay, it didn't have all these different bugs. It actually, sometimes these AI models have been known to run into issues even getting a React Native Expo app running. And KIMI K3 did not have that issue, right? If I did this with KIMI K 2.7, I promise you there would be a ton of Metro errors and all this garbage. But no, this one-shotted it, okay? Now, you can look at the design. I am not a fan of the design at all, okay? Remember, I did not prompt it very much for the design. Really, all I said was, hey, I want you to use native wind. So I don't like the design very much, but we can fix that with a follow-up prompt. But let's just test the functionality, because really the MVP was not focused on design. It was focused on end-to-end functionality. So let's see if it actually works. Let's create an account here. Let's just say Matthews Bridgemind at bridgemind.ai. Now, there is something here that I'm not a huge fan of. If you look at this here, when I'm creating a password, there's no eye icon to be able to hide and also look at my password. And that's just one thing, attention to detail with KIMI K3. Unless you prompt for something, it's going to leave some things out. And that is one thing where it's like, hey, with a password input field, you should probably be integrating that eye icon by default. I bet Fable 5 would do that, but let's create the account, and it does work. Okay, so that means that this was able to build the entire API. It was able to build the entire database. Everything that we needed, it was able to build. Now let's see if the talk to Bridge actually works. Hey there, Bridge, how are you doing?
Hey, Matthew, I'm here, ready to help you think through what you want next and turn it into something concrete and doable. What's on your
All right,
plate?
shut up. I want to have a goal to do a triathlon in July. Would you help me create a goal for this? I'd like to do a sprint triathlon in July.
Absolutely. And wow, that's a big one. A sprint triathlon is huge. Before I set it up, what's the exact date in July you want to target? Or at least a week?
Let's do just end of July.
Nice. I love it. End of July it is. To get it into the app with a clear target, what exact date do you want?
July
For example,
31st.
awesome. Let's go ahead and set this goal with that date in mind. Done. I created your goal called Sprint Triathlon at the end of July, set for July 31st, 2026.
Okay, all right. So I just paused it, but look at this. It says goal saved, sprint triathlon at the end of July. So if I go back, there it is right there, sprint triathlon at the end of the July. So there we literally have end-to-end functionality that's connected with GPT Real-Time 2.1. It's connected to the database. It has tool callings to be able to interact with the database. This is very impressive. Now, again, I'm not a big fan of the design, but I will say it did create a uniform design. If you look at this, everything is in unison, right? Like there's no rounded borders on anything. Everything is just like card layouts. I'll be working on this during the stream today, but this is a very strong test and very strong results from KIMI K3, because with KIMI K 2.7, it wouldn't have even been able to create the app. Like you wouldn't have even been able to create a React Native Expo app with 0 errors in one shot. But this was able to do that, do full stack development, API, database, front end. So this is a completely different breed of model coming out of Moonshot AI for full stack development. I'm super impressed with this. I want to show you guys some really interesting results that we're seeing from BridgeBench V3, which is currently in alpha. BridgeBench V2 was a task-based benchmark. BridgeBench V3 is an arena-based benchmark where each model gets the same task, is put head-to-head, and then the results are graded by a panel of judges. So if we look at the arena right now, there's actually quite a few benchmarks that are currently running live. So you can see that Fable 5 is currently up against KIMI K3 in this reasoning benchmark. And these are all running right now. I started this, I put them head to head because I really wanted to see what the results of KIMI K3 versus Fable 5 would look like. Now, I want you guys to look at this and note that Fable 5 crushes GPT 5.6 Soul in this benchmark, okay? Fable 5, there was over 200 matches, and Fable 5 won 172 matches, and GPT 5.6 only won 40 of them, mostly being the security benchmark because the guardrails on Fable 5 are just they're too stringent, okay? But if we look at KIMI K3, where is it? It's right here. KIMI K3, look at this, 32 versus 16 on this benchmark. These are crazy results, okay? and more results will come in today. I'd like to get a larger sample size, but this is 48 matches so far that have put KIMI K3 head-to-head with Fable 5, and this panel of judges seems to think that KIMI K3 is producing better responses and better output versus Fable 5, which is actually very shocking. Another benchmark which has really shocked me is the NestJS AI agent evaluations benchmark. And if you take a look at this, you can see that KIMI K3 is now outperforming Claude Fable 5 on this benchmark. If you look at this, the success rate of KIMI K3 is better than that of Fable 5. Now, this puts it neck and neck. You can see that the success rate with Agents MD is 96, 96, 96. Now, one thing that I don't like very much is that Cursor Composer 2.5 is also getting a success rate with 96%. So take with that what you will. But really what I'm noticing is that KIMI K3, this is not a budget model anymore that you should be using if you want to save some money and then work with the model a little bit more. No, this is a frontier model that you can use for real world work. The biggest problem that I do have with it is I do not think that the KIMI code harness is very good. And I also do not think that the speeds of this model are very good. When I use this model in production, when I'm using it on a real world code base, it does take quite a while to actually do its work. If you give it a simple task, if you have it do anything really, it does take a very long time to produce outputs. So with all of this being said, I have decided to cancel 2 Claude Max subscriptions and purchase 1 Vivis subscription, which is $199 per month. The usage on this subscription is quite good because KIMI K3 is actually much cheaper than Fable 5. It's about 1/4 of the price, and it is going to be able to be used a lot more in your workflow than you could use Fable 5. Now, that is what I'm doing. You guys don't have to do the same thing, but I am going to, for the first time ever, put the BridgeBench stamp of approval on an open source model. KIMI K3 is the first model to get the BridgeBench stamp of approval that is an open source model. I've been absolutely blown away by the output that we've seen from this model. Super impressed. This is a total leap for open source AI, and I'm putting my money where my mouth is. You guys will see me using KIMI K3 in my workflow. I've tested this out in the Bridge Space code base. It's performed very well. And the one caveat to all of this is it's a slow model, right? So I'm going to use it a little bit differently than I would with Fable 5 because of those speed differences. But with that being said, I hope that this video was helpful for you. If it was, make sure you drop a like and subscribe to BridgeBench if you want to see more model review videos like this. And if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, let me know in the comment section down below. And with that being said, I will see you guys in the future.